Howdy y'all, Handy Redneck here. I did some beans in a bucket earlier today. You can see them right there in front of you, labeled. Trying something a little different. Got my headset on, which supposedly has a microphone in it, so maybe the sound quality will be more even throughout today's video. We're going to do a couple of things today. We got atomic grape tomatoes that we're going to set out, and we got some butternut squash that we're going to set out as well. We're going to do 3 of the tomatoes in one of these buckets here. Then we're going to put all the squash out in one of the raised beds. So we'll get it to where we try to transport these squashes out there relatively easy, I hope. On my luck, I'll drop them. Alright, so got the squashes, got the camera. The silly puppies are out here somewhere. We began the video with them soaking up sunshine. I don't know if you can tell or not. Right now we're about 70 degrees. It's about noon, maybe a little after. But it's a nice day. Oh, there they are. There's 2 of them. The 3rd one's up on the porch, ain't you, Bubba? So we're gonna do the butternut squash in this bed. This bed here is the one that we've already sown, direct sown seeds for. Oh, what you call it? We got beets. We got 2 different beets. We got the at one end of the bed we got golden Detroit. The other end we got the red cylindras. In the middle of the bed we got okra, which at least one of them seems to have sprouted. Then at the end we've got celery and Chinese spinach amaranth, and also we've got buckwheat in this bed. But right now we're going to split this off like this. That's approximately 3 feet long and a foot wide where I made these marks. This area here, we're going to do 3 of those atomic grape tomatoes here, and then we'll do 3 up in a bucket. So we'll start first by leveling this out a little bit, because we do have this one side here that's a little bit lower. And then these we're going to pack in a little bit close. Normally you'd only do 1 of these per foot, but we're doing 2 per foot. And what we're going to do is we're going to lay them over as they grow over the side here, and let them kind of take over this whole section over here outside of the bed as a mulch and everything. So what we got is 3 3 and 3. And all we're going to do now is dig them in. And we're actually going to dig them in a little deeper than they're planted now. Not a whole lot, just a little bit maybe. Just like that. You know, no big deal. I wasn't really planning on raising butternut squashes, but I had some seeds and I was bored, so I put the seeds, because they were old seeds, very, very old seeds. So I put them in thinking, if one or two germinate, it'd be kind of fun. But they all germinated, so I got a bunch more than I had planned. So, like I say, we'll just dig down here a little bit, drop them in, and cover them up. I'll take you over and show you the potato cage after we get these set in. And before we do start on the tomatoes, I'll take you over and show you the potato cage that we set up for pumpkins. Again, old, very old pumpkin seeds. Wasn't sure if they'd come up or not. Most of them didn't, but 3 of them did. So I needed to find a place for them. So I had a smaller bit of wire that I had originally thought about using for sweet potatoes, setting it up as a sweet potato cage, or I don't know what we'd call it, you know, a little grow area for the sweet potatoes. But I decided we'd go bigger for the sweet potatoes, and we built them a bigger cage. So that left us with this smaller cage that we needed to use. So I set it up for pumpkins. So I'll take you over there and show you right quick. This cage here with the that's holding the plastic, that'll be for the sweet potatoes. It's still a bit cold for them, so we haven't built it up yet. And then we've got over here, we've got a smaller potato cage that we put the pumpkins in. You know, we got the big potato cages here, and as you can see, the cold spell did a number on a couple of them. This one's budding back out and putting on new shoots. That one got a little bit cold, but it's still got a nice green spot on it, so it should be fine. Now I get up here on the porch, get 3 of those tomatoes, and we'll get those planted, and we'll get everything watered in. Okay, these Atomic Grape are, their full name is Brad's Atomic Grape. They're an heirloom variety that was recently bred. And you can have an heirloom variety that is new if you use the old ways. Heirlooms, when it comes to tomatoes, are classed a little weird because they're open pollinated, and they've, generally speaking, heirloom is a variety that's been around X number of years. These Brad's Atomic Grape tomatoes, as Brad's Atomic Grape have not been around for those years to have a full-on heirloom designation on their own. However, the parent plants that they were bred out of are both heirloom varieties, so these did pick up the heirloom designation. I don't know if you can see it or not. I'll try to get up here and show you. We do have roots coming through these little pots, so that's another indicator that it's about time. We are going to plant these little burgers way deeper than their pot because they are tomatoes, so all the little hairs on the stem should turn into roots. So we got that much root in the pot, and we go that much, we basically give it a chance to double its roots real easy. So don't be afraid to plant tomatoes deep. And I'm trying to be careful not to crush the little beet seedlings we got. And we're all planted in. Now, as normal, as soon as we get done planting something, we water it in. And since we do have little seedlings in here, they have not been watered yet today. So young seedlings need more water. We want to try to keep the soil moist for them. And the way we mix this soil up in here, as you can see as we dug it up, it's moist down lower, but generally speaking, the seedlings on top, they're generally within the top 2 inches of soil, and that's the part that'll dry out. So we need to water that. We generally do it twice a day here, or I generally do it twice a day, to make sure they get a good start. Like I say, I know at least one of these okra in the middle have sprouted. We've got the beets have sprouted. The buckwheat has sprouted. We're just waiting on the celery and the amaranth, the Chinese spinach amaranth, to sprout. But with the butternut squash and the tomatoes, the 3 Atomic Grape tomatoes, this bed is completely planted out, and that makes all of the big beds here completely planted out. The 3x8 beds are all completely planted now. I think there's still one tomato plant from the G1 bed that I need to replace. We'll see. We'll give it a week to see if it puts on new leaves or if the cold did actually get it. We did go ahead and replace 2 in that bed that got hit by the late cold snap. So yeah, we lost like 3 or 4 tomato plants, and I think we lost. Oh no, we didn't. I thought we did. I thought we'd lost 1 corn plant here, but it looks like it's coming on all right. Again, yesterday in this one we put in sunflower seeds. It got watered twice. This is its first watering of the day. It doesn't look like it's dried out too much, so we don't have to do a lot of watering, but we will get some water into it. We might lose one of the peppers in this bed here. It looks like it may have gotten a little cold, but we had 11 doubles, so we had what, roughly 22 plants planted, and we may lose 1 double set. That's not anything I'm too worried about, for the simple fact that I knew we'd have to thin them anyway. So this bed here's got the cabbage up, the onions are up. The tomatoes in the center here, I'm hoping will come back. The ones on this end were the ones that were actually frozen to death. And so we went ahead and replaced them with some store-bought Cherokee purples. The ones on this end didn't get frozen at all. Not exactly sure why, but that's the way it happens. But anyway, in this bed here we've got cabbage along the back side that's sprouted, the tomatoes and onions down the middle. At that end we got the peppers. Here in the middle we got some celery seeded in, and on this end down here we've got some spinach that is sprouted. We're actually going to put a couple of sweet potatoes in there, and we're not going to actually be growing them for the sweet potatoes as sweet potatoes. What we're actually going to grow them for is the leaves. You can actually use sweet potato leaves in replacement of spinach leaves, and since sweet potatoes really like heat, they make a beautiful replacement during the hot summer. Now, these potato tower nests that we got going, I'm giving them a little drink because we did put potatoes in them, so they do need a drink of water. And I need to clean up my mess because I got plastic containers and whatnot all around. Get over here, get the pumpkins a little bit of water. And some people will tell you, don't water your plant during the middle of the day because it'll get sunburnt because of the water. But when you look at things in nature, that don't matter. That don't matter at all. Nature will rain in the middle of the day and bring the hot sun right back out, and the plants can handle it, not a problem. In this bed, we've got, and it's up at this end, and we got the amaranth, we got the carrots are up, we've got Brussels sprouts and turnips. At the other end we got kale. What else? We got quinoa. And the quinoa is sprouted up as well as the amaranth at this end. So this bed here is fully planted out. Now certain things in this bed will get removed and something else planted into it. Haven't decided yet, but as we go through and harvest, like the turnips, there'll be an open spot there until we do a fall garden. What are you rolling in, Mouse? Huh? In your bath? So, everything gets a little bit of a drink, because yes, it is still early spring, but it's pushing 70 degrees. So, we'll go up here and get the rest of the tomatoes planted and get everything up here watered, and we'll call it a video. So, in this bucket, we've got these Atomic Grape cherry tomatoes. We're going to do 3 in a pot. And again, we just dig them down and pack the dirt in, leaving a little bit of the tomato plant sticking up. Again, it's a tomato. It's got a hairy stem, and that hairy stem will actually turn into roots. So planting them deep isn't going to be an issue with them. It'll actually benefit them. And that'll be that. Now, they're planted. One thing left to do. Ooh, that's hot. Okay. Last thing to do, water them in. Give them a good drink. We'll water in our beans that we planted earlier that we didn't water. Then we'll give like the cucumbers a drink. And if you've seen the way I mix up my potting soil for these buckets, you'll understand that we don't have to put too much water in these on a daily basis right now, because the potting mix I use in it holds moisture real well. And then in the bottom of the bucket we got the straw, and that holds moisture real well too. So we'll just give everything a little bit of a drink. And then this evening, I'll come out and give everything another little drink. And we'll be all good. Anyway, this is a handy redneck. I'll talk at y'all later.